After an interesting and motivational talk yesterday from Mr. Sanjeev Sardesai, we are ready to begin with today's session with our speaker, Mr. Smitesh Talwadekar. I would like to request the president of IIC of our college, Mrs. Deepa Audi, to introduce Mr. Smitesh.
Thank you, Dr. Evelino. Respected Principal Madam, Professor Dr. Vrinda Borkar, the Vice President of Institutions Innovation Council, Dr. Manoj Ibrampurkar, and my dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce the guest speaker for today's session, Mr. Smitesh Talavadekar, who is the alumni of our college. Mr. Smitesh pursued BSc in Geology from Dempe College in the year 2010. During his tenure as a student, he had excellent academic record and was also actively involved in extracurricular activities and was an excellent NSS volunteer. Later, he completed MSc in Geology from Bangalore University, wherein he secured the first rank and also won successive 8 gold medals, which I think is an excellent achievement in the short 2-year duration of the PG course program. He later started his own firm, Terra Hydrotech Solutions, in the year 2013, which provides services in groundwater surveys, bore well drilling, and open well construction and rainwater harvesting. Mr. Smitesh has 1,000 plus groundwater management projects and 50 plus rainwater harvesting projects to his credit. He is a certified a trainer for JCI India and has also received the Kamal Patra Award of JCI India for the year 2018 for excellence in business as a young entrepreneur. We wholeheartedly welcome you, Mr. Smitesh Talavadekar, and request you to kindly take over the session. Thank you.
Good morning, friends. I'm Smitesh Talavadekar, entrepreneur by profession and alumni of Dempe College. Thanks for the wonderful intro, ma'am, which was very overwhelming. Thank you. So today we are here to talk more about entrepreneurship, more about how to be a millionaire or how to have a millionaire mindset, right? Everybody dreams of being a millionaire, but how many people do really become millionaire or lead towards the path of millionaire? Very few, right? So to be a millionaire, we need to have a right millionaire mindset, and that is what we are going to learn today, or we are going to see today how to have this or how to develop this millionaire mindset. So if you see, a millionaire mindset is not always linked to $1 million in the bank account, but certainly it is more often to the mindset of abundance. It is how abundantly you think more of being a millionaire or of achieving success in business as an entrepreneur. So how do we have this millionaire mindset? The answer is very simple, and it is all in the way how you think about it. If you see this the wealthy individuals or so-called the millionaires, they all have a particular vision, a particular millionaire mindset, and this mindset comes from the way they think, the way they behave, the way they act, right? So basically, if you see, when a thought comes in our mind, with one positive thought there are several negative thoughts which arise in our mind, and because of which negativity spreads in within us, and this negativity can certainly impact or have a negative impact on our business or even on our enterprise. Hence we should have more of positive thoughts, we should be more positively thinking or have a positive approach towards entrepreneurship, which can lead to a positive growth in our business. But just having positive thoughts or positive mindset is not sufficient. This positive thoughts or positive thinking is going to lead us more towards uh, achieving our goals or working towards our the set goals basically. So it is the way of thinking that separates successful individuals from the rest of the population. That's why millionaires stand different from the regular people or the normal people, right? So Haveker's 17 thought pattern differs how millionaires be different from the regular people. So here we are going to see how millionaires behave different from that from the common people, right? So Mr. Harv Eker, Mr. Harv Eker, with his research of 3 decades, with where he met different entrepreneurs, businessmen from worldwide, interviewed them continuously, and then he came up with his book called Mindset of the Millionaire, where he has jotted down certain 17 thoughts or principles which the millionaires followed to be what they are today. So we shall discuss this 17 thoughts, how millionaires be different from the common people. That is, millionaires believe in creating their life. They choose their life. They choose their path, and they don't get swayed with the wind, basically. So they know what is their goal, where they are leading to. First of all, they define their goals. That is very much important. So you need to know what you are going to be in your life, and how you are going to then create a path to lead this life. Whereas common man, what we usually think is life happens to us, right? We believe that life happens to us. जो कुछ लिखा है अपने नसीब में वो हम करते रहेंगे, right? वैसे होता रहेगा. We cannot change it, but in reality it is not true. You have to create your own destiny. So the wealth principle here is, when you are complaining, you become a living breath crap magnet, right? So the second principle that the rich follow is, they play money game to win. That is, they utilize their wealth to hire right candidates to work for them, to improvise their efficiency. Whereas the common people, when they gain some money, what they do is, they will try to save the money and uh, they will try to bank it and to keep it for their future, so that they do not lose this money. But rich people will always try to invest in such a way that they can multiply this income regularly and increase their wealth. So if your goal is to become comfortable, chances are that you will never get rich. But if your goal is to be rich, chances are you will end up being comfortable. But being comfortable always cannot make you stand different from the society or from the common man. Then rich people are committed to being rich, whereas poor want to be rich. Rich people will always, the millionaires will always do everything and anything that will take them towards their goal, which will not divert from their focus or from their goals. Whereas poor people will always just have a thought that we want to be rich, we want to be millionaire, we want to be millionaire, but beyond that thought, they will not do any actions which will lead them to this towards the entrepreneurship. So if you are not fully, totally and truly committed to create the wealth, the chances are you won't create a wealth, right? You won't be wealthy. So always you have to be committed and work towards your goals, where you are going to be moving closer and closer to your goals by having uh, sufficient achievements, or which will help you achieve your goals. So millionaires always think big. That is, they will not have small goals. They will always have a wide vision. They will always go for something like a normal as a common man, what do we always think? We think that, okay, I should have a good salary which will suffice me or which will lead me a good life. I will do some savings. I will have one house, one a good car, and certain amounts in my savings. That is how a common man thinks. But millionaires will always think big. They will always think of multiplying their business, growing their opportunities, exploring the different opportunities worldwide. So the law of income says that you will be paid to direct proportion to the value you deliver according to the marketplace. Rich people focus on opportunities. They will make the best out of the opportunities, and basically, when they see the opportunities, first of all, they will have their goals defined. So it is very important for us to define the goals first, or have focused. Once your goals are defined in your entrepreneur, what you want to be, where your business is going to be 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, or 15 years down the line, what the turnover you are targeting at. Once you know that your goals are defined, you will always look for opportunities which will help you in fulfilling your goals. Whereas the common man always focus more on obstacles. They will say if they want to start a business, then they will say, oh, I don't have funds, right? Then once if they have funds, they will say, no, I don't have that expertise or confidence, right? So rich people see an opportunity, jump on it, and get even more richer. As for poor people, they are still preparing. We'll see that they are always preparing for it. Nahi, kya kar rahe ho? What is the status of your entrepreneur? You are supposed to do entrepreneur. You are supposed to become an entrepreneur. What is the status of your entrepreneurship? They will say, no, 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 I am preparing for it always, right? Even if you ask after 2 or 3 years, they will say, yes, I'm still preparing. No, I'll be starting the business next year or the incoming 6 months. But they never start up and end up starting their enterprise. They will always believe, they will always think of obstacles that today I don't have this, tomorrow I don't have that. But rich people always, millionaires always focus on opportunities where they can expand their business, they can grow their business, and they can uh, create more and more wealth for them. So the sixth principle that we see here is rich people admire other rich and successful people. They will always be uh, appreciable for people who achieve big things, or they will appreciate other people's success. Whereas poor people or the common man will always resent from rich and successful people. What happens here is, the point is that if you resent from what people have in a way, shape, or form, you can never have it. So if you don't admire or if you don't appreciate someone else's success or someone else's achievements, you won't be able to achieve those success or achieve. You won't be able to attend those success or achievements. Rich people associate with positive and successful people. So if you see millionaires, you will always see them associating with their same business group people or people who are more successful. They are always associated with them, meeting them, uh, discussing businesses with them, and they try to learn from this other fellow successful and positive people. Whereas if you see the common people, they will try to be distance from the poor, thinking that, oh, these people are special, they are well off to do, and I cannot do the same what they have done, or will they really value me or no? So they, instead of shying away from rich people, you get to know them, and instead of saying, wow, they are so special, say, if they cannot do it, if they can do it, why can't I do it? So we have to be positive. If rich people can be successful, even every one of us can be successful. Then rich people are willing to promote themselves and their values all the time. If you see, they are always concentrating more on how they can sell themselves or promote their products or promote their businesses to get most value out of them. They never have negativity that, okay, what if I go and if I say about my products or my business to someone or a group of people, will they make fun of me, or will they have some negative impact on my mind, or are they going to appreciate me or not? They never think about the negative impacts. They are always willing to promote themselves and add value to their business or to their enterprise. Whereas common people always think negatively. If you tell them to do something, they will say, oh, I can't do it. Oh, what will people say about me? What if I don't succeed in what I am doing? World will make fun of me. So you believe that what you have to offer can truly assist people. It's your duty to let as many people as possible know about it, right? So in this way, you not only help people, but even you get richer or you get millionaire. Certainly, as your business improves, the wealth will also improve. And millionaires are bigger than their problems. They are always, they don't get scared of any problems, right? So but what happens in kind of common man is, they feel that they are always smaller. The problem is bigger than them. And the secret to success is not to try or avoid or get rid of or shrink of your problems. The secret is to grow yourself so that you are bigger than any problem. when you see that you are bigger than the problem, then problem cannot come as an obstacle uh, in your success path. If you see the millionaires, they are always excellent receivers. That is, they are ready for any and every kind of change. They will do anything and everything which will be betterment for their business or for their enterprise. Whereas if you see common man, they will not accept change so easily. They will not want to go out of their comfort zone, as we even discussed it before. So rich people work hard and believe it's perfectly appropriate to be well rewarded for their efforts and the value they provide for others. And poor people work hard, but due to their feelings of unworthiness, they believe that it is inappropriate for them to be well rewarded for their efforts and the value they provide. So always they feel that no, I am not worth of this value. But the businessman, the millionaires always feel that whatever work they have delivered, yes, I need to be rewarded for what I have delivered or what work we are delivering. The most important mindset that you need to have here is you have to be a millionaire. You have to think like a millionaire. That is, what happens is when we do something, when we do a work, or when we do a job, or when we deliver one particular assignment, millionaires always believe in getting paid on the results. They feel that if the client feels that he is being his problems are being solved, or his the client's needs are being satisfied, then they want to get paid based on the results of their work. Whereas if you see the common man, they are always interested in working on time based. Oh, they will always want to have a ceiling on their income based on how much time or how much hours they have spent working. Then if you see the millionaires, they always think in both the ways. That is, they can even have a cake and they can even eat it. But the common man always thinks that they can either have a cake or they can either eat it. They cannot have both together. Why? Because rich people believe you can have the cake or and eat it too, whereas poor people don't believe they deserve cake. So they order a donut, focus on the whole, and the wonder why they have nothing. Right? So rich people focus on their net worth. If you see examples of Tatas or Ambanis or all these wealthiest people in our country, they are always focused on getting on increasing their net worth and not focusing on each outlet how much they are going to earn on each product that Reliance sells, how much they are going to earn on it. They are always focusing on overall. That is by franchising, by having branches, by growing their business, how they can overall improve their net worth. But the working income people, what they think, what they always focus on is they are focused on how much money they are earning on everyday basis. Oh, today they have earned 10,000, tomorrow they have earned 15,000. So they will concentrate more on how much money they are earning on daily basis or income. But that is not going to take you to the long way. For that particular moment, you may have sufficient wealth or income, but on the long run, it may not suffice you. But rich people focus on their net worth. That is, they will improve their teams, they will grow their teams, they will expand their branches, they will multiply on having more teams working towards a particular common goal. And hence, what will happen as the team or as the businesses go on expanding, we have different branches, their net worth is going to be increasing. So we have to measure the wealth in net worth and not as a working income. So we more as an entrepreneur, you have to focus on how you can increase your net worth or how you can increase your business as a whole. If you see millionaires, they will always manage their money well. Yeah, if they make a certain profit, yeah, what they will do is they will invest it in they will reinvest their money in such a way that they will try to double their money. Especially examples like if a millionaire makes a profit of say X amount, he will try to go and invest that X amount either in mutual funds or shares and or some other established businesses where he will double his money through their income or as a revenue or as a dividend. So until you show you cannot, until you show you can handle what you have got, you won't get any more. But either you control your money or it will control you. So poor people actually mismanage their wealth by, if they have today, if they have a lot of wealth, they will go, they will spend it, they will not have a proper money management plan, and a day will come where they will end up spending all their money, and then again they will have to start from zero. But millionaires think it in a different way. They will invest it in such a way that it will be multiplying. The money will go on multiplying. Again, the millionaires always will have, want their money to work hard for them. That is, when they grow, when they want to grow, they will see to it that today they are working. Today they have started their entrepreneurship firm or enterprise. They will have more of employees. They will have more of working people for them, so that all of them are trained together and they are working towards a common goal to achieve the dreams what, or to achieve the goals what the entrepreneur or the millionaire has set to see him. So he will have a group of people who are working towards a common goal, which will give much better results and faster results and a more better growth. But what happens in case of common man is, if a common man is earning certain money, he will not try to basically he will not try to train other people. Why? Thinking that, oh, today if I train them, tomorrow they will be my competitors. But that is not the case in terms of millionaires. So rich people see every dollar as a seed that can be planted to earn 100 more dollars, which can then be replanted to earn 1,000 more dollars. If we see the 16th principle, that is, rich people act in spite of fear. So even if there is a fear of losing their wealth or facing some losses, they will still go with confidence and they will invest more. They will try to expand their business in spite of losses by taking risks. Whereas common men don't, they fear to take risks or bigger risks in the businesses. So it's always you have to take some good calculative risks in your business. So if you are willing to do only what's easy, life will be hard. But if you are willing to do what's hard, life will be easy. Then very important thing what millionaires do, or you should have as a millionaire, if you want to be a millionaire, you should have this mindset, very important. That is, you should be constantly learning and growing. You should be open to learn new things, to upgrade yourself as per technology, as per the market. Whereas the common man doesn't want to get out of his comfort zone, right? So they don't want to learn, upgrade or upgrade continuously. They always think that, yeah, they know everything, and they think that the person who is there ahead is a fool. This happens many a times. So training and managing your own mind is most important skill, and you could ever own, and in terms of both happiness and success. So it is very important to to keep your learning process continuously on. So hence, as an entrepreneur, you should continuously undergo some soft skills trainings, some motivational trainings from, because there are many business consultants which help you achieve your goals, and they also help you uh, achieve your all your business targets basically. So we'll see what is the top secret to success is. If when you are a millionaire, if you think you are a millionaire mind, you should be very open first of all to self development. You should continuously be have a right attitude, and you should be taking undergoing continuous upgradation and training. You should be coachable. When you are open for development, you can certainly learn new things, you can internalize them, and you can adapt yourself as per the developments that or the learnings that you have been developing within yourself to get out of your comfort zone. And when you learn, internalize, and adapt these new things that you learn, you will certainly grow, adding value to people's life. So your success is equivalent to your personal growth and development always. So to build global teams, you need to continuously develop, you need to continuously upgrade yourself and grow your team, your business, your institution or your enterprise as a whole. So to conclude here, we see three relevant quotes from Napoleon Hill's book Think and Grow Rich. They're very important and very nice quotes. You are the master of your destiny and you can influence, direct and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be, right? And the second most important thing, what as a millionaire or as a entrepreneur you need to understand or you need to keep in mind is a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. So if you give up before your goal has been reached, you are a quitter. And if a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. So live this sentence out, write it on a piece of paper in bold letters, yeah, and you should place this in your room right in front of your bed, and you should always see this before you go off to bed and when you wake up. So this will always keep you, you know, alert that whatever it or it takes to be an entrepreneur or to be successful, you will have to do or you will have to do all those things that will make you a good entrepreneur or make you successful. And you shouldn't quit at any point of time. If you quit, whatever efforts you put for whatever time you have invested or whatever efforts you have invested will all go waste. And also there is one more important very important phrase in this book. It says that remember too that all who succeed in life get off to a bad start and pass through many heartbreaking struggles before they arrive. So turning point in lives of those who succeed usually comes at some moment of crisis through which they are introduced to their other selves. That is, this is very true, and this is there in every businessman. Even as an entrepreneur, when I started off, it was not that easy. Yeah, so there were very much ups and downs. Sometimes there was good business, sometimes there was no business for even 3 to 4 months without any income. So this is the phase of life. This is the phase in business where there are a lot of ups and downs, and most of the entrepreneurs, they give up in this phase, in this mode, in the first 3 to 4 years of their business. They don't give patience and perseverance for growing their business. They feel that if the income is not flowing in, that means, oh, they are not going to succeed. And many new businesses or enterprises shut in this phase where they cannot survive this hard phase of life. But there is always a break even. You may never know when that one project might click or one assignment might click, which can be a turning point in your business, right? So you have to be always patient and you have to be very much consistent toward and working towards your goal. Whatever obstacles come, you shouldn't give up. And that it says that the turning point in lives of those who succeed usually comes at some moment of crisis through which they are introduced to their other selves. So this was about having the entrepreneurship mindset and how we can have a good enterprising mind, which can lead us to be a good entrepreneur. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Smitesh. That talk was indeed very motivational for all of our participants. We have a question in the chat box by Mr. Atish Chaudhary. He asks, actually, there are two parts to this question. Why did you choose your subject as geology, and what motivates you to become an entrepreneur?
Well, it's a very good question, and I always love to answer this question. Right from my childhood, I always had passion towards planetary sciences, and I was always more interested to learn about universe, about cosmos. So when I passed out, when I completed my 12th standard, and I came to Lempe College to take admission. Uh, I was more interested. I didn't know that time that there was a subject called geology until and unless I came and I saw on the prospectus that there is a subject called as geology. I always knew that planetary sciences and something related to Earth, planets, or any other thing means geography, right? So I was always interested in taking admission for geography, but when I came here, I saw that there was no subject called geography in this college. So then I chose geology. The office clerk, my very good friend, Mr. नाम तो कौन मुझे मार कर Sunil, he told, "Arey, there is a subject where you learn about Earth and Earth science." So that fascinated me, and I took geology. I say I'll study this for a year and I'll see if I like. I will continue, or else I will go for geography in some other institution. So when I started studying this subject, it really fascinated me, and I decided to make my career in geology. And certainly I think it was a very good choice to be a geologist. And about entrepreneur, yes, I am an entrepreneur, but I am a geo entrepreneur. I have not shifted or deviated my subject from entrepreneurship. I am certainly doing business in my field in geology, and I'm running a consultancy business. I'm working as a groundwater consultant and providing services in groundwater management for most of the top industries in the country. Any more questions?
You all can unmute yourselves and ask. Okay, if there are no questions, if there are no more questions, I would now like to request Dr. Manoj Ibrampurkar, Vice President of the college's IIC, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Evelino. Well, that was a very strong moral booster, I believe. I think we had a perfect combination yesterday with so many ideas of new businesses or startups that students can think about. And today, Mr. Smitesh gave an perfect idea what a entrepreneur should think, how should be his attitude, what he should do and what he should not do. I think if you follow these principles that he listed out, I'm sure whoever follows it will succeed. And trust me, students, Mr. Smitesh was a student of our college just 10 years back. And when he majored in geology, where everybody thinks of a job in oil fields or in mining where there is a lot of money, he did not choose the easy path. He had his own vision. He decided to become a businessman. He started his own consultancy firm. He followed it. He followed all these principles. And today he is one of the most successful student who has become a consultant in his field that I know. I'm teaching in this college since last 20 years, but he is the only one who has done it. He is a well-known hydrology consultant in Goa, not only in Goa, he has done projects all over the country. I think you must take his words seriously if you are thinking of a startup in future. With this, I sincerely thank Mr. Smitesh Talwalkar for sparing his valuable time with us and sharing his thoughts over this important topic. Thank you, Smitesh.
Thank you, sir.
And I would also like to thank Principal Madam for giving us this opportunity to come together on a platform and listening to great ideas. I would like to also thank Madam Deepa Odi, President of IIC, uh, Mr. Avelino, Mr. Manjunath, Mrs. Preeti. All of them worked hard to put this uh, webinar series together. I thank all of them. And last but not the least, all of you who attended this webinar series yesterday as well as today. And even if one of you starts something and succeeds in as a businessman, I think our efforts will be considered as fruitful. So with that note, okay, I think there is one more question for Smitesh. I think we can take that.
Yeah, so we have one more question here, and it's a very good question by Shruti Khozuekar, right? The question is the fact that geology isn't considered that great in today's world, where engineering and medicine is considered to be the best career choices for science student. From where did you get the motivation to go ahead with it? And from the books, she means to say. Okay. So, how did you convince your parents or the society with respect to financial income that one would get through these courses? Okay. To tell you first and foremost, when I completed my 12th, I had a state rank of 3 in AIEEE in Goa, which could give me admission in many of the best NITs in India. But it was my parents, my father, who guided me, and he told me that engineering is not the field meant for you. I have been observing you from right from the childhood, and you are more interested towards planetary sciences, learning more about the Earth, the universe, the planets, and so why don't you go for? He told me that yeah, I am glad. I am very much proud that you have scored such good marks in your triple E exam. But you do one thing. You forget. Don't go for any engineering counseling. You go to any college of your choice, BSc college of your choice. Go take admission for geography because he also did know that there is a subject called geology. Study for 1 year, see if you like it, then you continue, or else next year again you can answer your entrance exams and you can get back to engineering. 1 year wouldn't be a waste. He's like always, you learn something and knowledge never goes waste. So you're not going to be at a loss or anything. So that is how I came to Dempe College. I always, because my few of my cousins studied here and I had heard about Dempe College and life in Panjim, and so I wanted to be in in Panjim itself, and not go to Chokle College or in Margao side. So I came to Dempe College and I saw that okay, there was a subject called geology. So I started studying it, and that is how I realized that yes, I have very much good liking for this subject. I started studying it. See, I didn't have to put very extra efforts or more efforts in studying this because I was already keen towards the subject. So this subject was easy for me to understand, and certainly when a subject is easy for you to understand, it is also easy to score marks, isn't it? Yeah. So that is how I got into geology basically, and to start off with business, I will as a geo entrepreneur. Uh, as Madam Deepa already introduced me when I passed out. I finished my MSc from Bangalore University with first rank and 8 gold medals. But the year we passed out, Shah Commission was fixed and mining and all major industries were shut. Mining industries were shut, and all our campus interviews were cancelled. Even oil field was having recession since last few years when we passed out, and there were no vacancies for freshers. So when there are no vacancies and when there are no opportunities to work or get employed for someone, it is that time when thoughts come in your mind that if I have got 8 gold medals, there is something, I have some extra caliber in me, I can certainly survive myself or I can suffice on my own and I did not be dependent on any other uh, employer to employ me. And that is the time I decided to sit on the opposite side of the table and not as a job seeker but as a job creator. And that is how I started my consultancy firm in 2013, where I mastered myself in groundwater, and we started a groundwater consultancy or water management consultancy in Goa. About the books, there are many books which will help you in becoming an entrepreneur. There are many nowadays. You need not be dependent on books. There are many motivational trainers who are there who give training on becoming entrepreneurs. Only thing, how you can use this entrepreneur knowledge in your field and how you can become an entrepreneur of your field, that is very much important, so that you don't you don't let your efforts of so many years of studying the subject what you have studied go aside or go waste. Because we see many people, they study engineering, they do all the different courses, and ultimately they end up working in a bank doing MBA or some MBA finance or something, right? So many people switch over their fields, or many people we see that they are doctors or engineers and they are into other businesses like a restaurant business or any other business. So as far as possible, if you have studied a particular subject and if you are interested in doing a career in your subject, yes, in every subject there is an entrepreneurial opportunity where you can have your own setup or own venture and provide services in your field or products, or you can develop products which are which will be useful in your fields, right? And you can become an entrepreneur. Any more
Yeah.
questions?
I would like to add a little bit to that. Shruti, uh, since you made a statement that the fact geology isn't considered that
Yes,
great
sir.
in today's world, I would like to answer to that because I am a geology professor. Okay, and it's not nothing saying wrong in that. I mean to say that, to be very frank, our parents know only about engineering and medicine. They don't know anything about else.
Yes, that's
In
true.
today, we have our mobile phones in our hands, and it is a vast ocean of information. You know, we must make use of this technology in the best way possible. We need not ask anything to anyone. Everything is available there, eh, on the Google or whatever platform that you want to search. You know, there's so much of information. What we should do is very simple thing, that what is the demand and what is the supply, how many engineers are required, and how many engineering graduates are passing out every year, how many doctors are required, how many doctors are passing out every year, how many geologists are required, how many geologists are passing out every year in the country or in the. It's a simple thing that you have to do, one calculation. And of course your passion is very, very important. If you have passion for anything, you must pursue it. That is the key. That is what I believe. Of course, uh, we can have more discussion on this when probably, at a later stage. Today we are talking about startups and innovations, and Mr. Smitesh Sarwarkar is a successful entrepreneur who had started his business 8 years back, and he has already succeeded, and he has given us today few mantras. I think we should consider them very seriously. Yeah. So on this note, yes,
Another thing I would like to add up to what Sir said is very important is
feedback.
uh,
You see.
that is see, when you see the when you talk about any career or any field as a career, see, these fields are there in today in market, or we are learning them, we are studying them because there is scope and opportunity in it. But we always forget that, or we always neglect whether are we really market ready product, right? Do we have sufficient knowledge? Because what happens is, there is today also, if you see, there are a lot of vacancies and opportunities in geology, much more than engineers and engineering and medical field, or any other field, or maybe biological sciences. But are we really capable of getting those opportunities, or am I suitable for that particular post? Because we see that today we want to learn all hi-fi fundas and all other things, but we are lacking basics. We see, when we come across, when we get candidates for interviews, we see that they lack basics. They have no proper basic knowledge of the subject, whereas they will talk about all other hi-fi fundas and principles, and they want and another thing what always we face is, when the problem that we face is, when candidates come for interview, they are always expecting big salaries and income, right? But they are not the suitable candidate, but they are not always a suitable candidate for giving that much income. Why? Because they lack, first of all, they lack basic knowledge of the subject. If we ask some basic principles and basic questions to them about the subject, they don't have complete knowledge about that. So first, work on making your basics strong, learn the subject in depth. Nobody in today's world is, except for research, hi-fi fundas and principles are used, but in day-to-day life and day-to-day job opportunities, the entire industry works on the basics. So if you make your basics strong, nobody can reject you in this world, because the entire thing is, whatever applications you have to do on the subject in any field, you need to apply your basics. So it is very important to make your basics strong. So I would like to give one more suggestion to today's all the young budding entrepreneurs, or the students, or the young scientists, or geologists, whoever are attending this training, that please work on making your basics strong. Please have your basics clear. If you have your basics clear, certainly you can reach to very great heights. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Smitesh, and also Sir Manoj, for those words of encouragement and motivation. Just to conclude, I just would like to inform all the participants that the feedback link has been shared in the chat box. So I request all the participants to kindly fill up the feedback form. Yeah. And so with this, we wind up with our webinar. And I would like to thank all the participants for attending both of these sessions. Thank you very much.